Alright, hi guys. I just got a few comments and people wanted me to do a disassembly of the Glock 19, and so here's the video I'm going to do. I don't know how long it's going to be. I'll try to make it quick. The tools you'll need is a punch. This is an AK-47 punch. And a little flathead screwdriver is good. Or I guess you could get the Glock tool or whatever. So here we go. Take the mag out, dry fire it, take that apart. The way you do that, dry fire it, put the crook of your hand on the back and your fingers up on top, and pull with your fingers back while you're pushing with your hand just a little bit. Pull both of these down, let it go forward, then you slide it right off. Put the slide aside. You got your frame here. This particular Glock 19 is a 2-pin, so really the only difference I think is that there would be an extra pin to take out. So first you're going to take your punch and you're going to push this pin out. It should just push right out, and that's a plastic pin. And then I always usually do from the right to the left on this pin. I don't know if it gives other people shit, but on mine it kinda likes to go out one way. So push that out, maybe. Well, let's try it from this side. The slide is catching it. There it goes. Push that out. That's a metal pin. Put that aside. Then you're going to take your slide release right here. You're going to pull that out. Then you're going to take your punch here and you're going to insert it right underneath this part. And then just pry it up so it slides out like that. Kind of wiggle it loose if it's in there tight. Slide that piece out. Then you're going to grab the ejector here, kind of shake it back and forth and pull your trigger housing out. Most people only take that apart to about there. Then what you do is, if you want this part taken apart from the rest, you pull this forward and you swing it out. Then it comes loose. Then you can take your spring off here, stick that through and pull that off. The spring went into this hole here. I don't know if it'll focus. Then you can pull the spring off of that part. It goes into, see if I can get it to focus. I guess not. Goes into that hole right there. There's your spring. And that's pretty much taken apart. You can take that part out, but I don't. I just leave it in there. So now your frame is disassembled. Then you're going to take your spring here, you're going to pull it towards the front of the gun and lift it out. I don't have a captured spring in mine. Mine was made in 1989, so it's still got the free firing, or the guide rod and the free spring here. Put those aside. Pull your barrel out. You kind of lift up, pull it forward a little bit, slide it out. And then to get this back plate off here, you're going to want to push. You can see right here It's round. Then there's a raised part in there, a lower part, and then there's this part. What you're going to want to do is, what I do is, this makes it real easy, is get that space in between two fingers. Put this in between your fingers, right on top. You're going to want this in there, just like that. Put this in there, and then you can use your finger as a pry bar or something, and you just push that down, slide that off there with your thumb. Make sure you keep your thumb over it because the stuff's spring loaded. Pulls your back plate off. Then you can push your firing pin up and out. There's your firing pin. Pull this extractor bar, whatever the hell it is, tension bar for your extractor here. You kind of see this little button right here. You're going to push that in a little bit while you kind of rock that forward, and then it will come right out. Then you can pull this little spring pin out, and now your Glock 19 is completely disassembled. Then then you can, clean it all, do whatever you want to it. And then to put it back together, it's kind of the opposite. You're going to take your slide, you're going to take your little pin with your spring here, you're going to insert it into that hole. You're going to take this part, and you're going to see that there's a round part on one side and just a notch on the other. Push that pin in, slide that into there. As soon as it's in there and it's flush, let go of that pin and that will hold it in. Then when you turn it, put your thumb over the back part of it where the opening is right there to hold it in. Take your extractor tension bar here or whatever it is. You're going to want to put it spring up into this little hole right here on the side. Drop that in there. You're going to take your firing pin and slide that in there, making sure that this notch goes into that slot. And then what I do is I take this back plate here, I put it on there like that, hold it with my right hand, my thumb. I take the back of this punch and I put it onto the side of that, on the edge of that firing pin. I push that down while I'm pushing that in. See, then it holds that in. Then I flip it over to the smaller side here. Push that tension bar in, making sure that this stays where it is. Push that down in there until you can push this plate on. Push it up until you hear it snap. Take your barrel, you're going to want to put it in barrel first into this top of the bigger hole. Slide it in and forward, drop it down, push it back until it locks into place. You're going to take your guide rod, you're going to put it back in your spring. You're going to take the bottom of the spring, the head of the guide rod goes towards the back of the gun. You're going to put it into this smaller hole here, push it down until you get it to pop all the way in and it's seated well. Put that aside. You're going to take your before you take your frame, you're going to take your spring here. You can see that it's got a curl on one side going one way and a curl going the other way. You're going to take this back piece right here, and in this hole you're going to put this hook. You're going to want the hook to go down in there like that. So then that's on there. You're going to take this, and remember that you're going to want to figure out how it's going to be laying in there. So it's like that. So it's got to go through the hole like just like that, or not. There it goes. Then you're going to want to swing it up over, make sure that that's lined up right. You're going to put this bent part down inside there. You're going to turn it out like that, push it down in there, and then slide that crossbar into that slot there. And then you're going to want to make sure that this is lined up down like that. You're going to want to hold it tight right here to hold that together. You're going to take the trigger, put it down into the trigger frame housing, and this back part into this hole here. Push that down, straight down into the gun. Make sure the trigger is seated all the way. You're going to take your plastic pin, your smaller pin, insert it on the back of the frame here, push it through. You're going to take this block here and you're going to slide it right into there. Slides in at an angle. That's in. You're going to take your slide release, and it's going to go down. If you look inside here, you can see that there's that slot and there's this slot. Well, this slide release is going to go into this slot, the slot closest to the left side. You're going to slide that right in there and rest that over the top there where it goes. Take your other pin. You're going to want to hold the gun with your left hand, kind of pushing that forward a little bit so that it's lined up all the way through the frame. Put your pin in there and kind of just shake it, wiggle it while it's going in. That way it'll go all the way. Now your frame is put back together. You're going to slide this right back onto the back. Make sure it fires. Does. And that's all there is to it. Insert your magazine, load a chamber, and start killing people. Easy as that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys hope I didn't miss anything. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you want to see any of my new videos, just feel free to subscribe. And thank you all for watching.